Hello, hello. It is Sarah Divinely You, and welcome to this new moon in Aries um, video, as well as an introduction to kind of a study in the lunation cycles that I really want to start focusing some attention on, because I do talk to clients and I do talk to people about tracking the moon and how it can help us with emotional management and emotional intelligence. And especially now, as this particular time and space that we're in is very chaotic on the world stage. So it's just kind of astrological reminder, as above, so below. And so astrology works not only in our personal lives, but in our communities and in our global government, or national government and global affairs. And then of course it keeps expanding out into, obviously, involving the planets, the stars, and whatnot. And so what I want to do with this series is give you videos for the new and the full moon, but also give you nuggets throughout the moon cycle, the lunar cycles, or the lunation cycles, to kind of help you understand where the moon is and what you may be experiencing. And so I did create a PowerPoint. I don't know how good it is. It was my first one that I've done in a really long time, not PowerPoint, Keynote. And the first one that I've done with a lot of photos. And so I was learning how to reuse it, basically. So anyway, hopefully it's understandable. And I will be posting for this new moon. Like I said, I'll be doing these videos, and then I'll be posting like a community post or like a visual post for different parts of the lunation cycle throughout. And then I'll do another video here on YouTube for the full moon in Libra that we'll be experiencing on, I believe it's April 5th. I think. What's unique about this Aries moon, Aries new moon, is one, it's at 0 degrees Aries. And so it's the beginning of the astrological new year. It is the 0 degree point of the first degree, or the first zodiac sign of the zodiac. It's also kind of a moment before we have other planets moving. Now, we have had Mercury switch signs over the weekend. He moved from Pisces, where he was at fall, into Aries. So you may already have felt some pickup in the energy. Prior to that, we had Venus switch from Aries into her home of Taurus. And just before this new moon peaks on Tuesday, the 21st, Venus will conjunct the North Node in Taurus. North Node is sort of futuristic. It's, where we're elevating towards, where we're evolving towards, that sort of thing. And then right after this new moon, we will have Pluto move into Aquarius and Mars finally leave Gemini and go into Cancer. However, he is at fall there, or detriment, no, fall. So there's a lot of changing, shifting energy. And so what I want to do, my intention of this particular video series and the subsequent committee posts and reels that will be posted, is to really help you gauge what you may be experiencing during these lunation cycles. And I'm going to try and do this for as many lunation cycles as I can, and to give you tools and resources to support you through these lunar cycles. So let's get into the PowerPoint, or the there we go. Okay. All right, so we are of course talking about Aries. Like I said, it's a cardinal sign, it's a fiery sign. It's ruled by Mars. Its animal is the ram. And so there's a lot of sort of thinking energy. Here's the chart for those of you who want to see a chart. I highlighted the actual degree point here. where this new moon is occurring at 0 degrees Aries. And you can see Mercury is just ahead at 5 degrees. Neptune in Pisces is just behind at 25 Pisces. And then we, of course, will have the moon cycle through then Chiron and Jupiter. And you can also see in this chart where Venus has just passed the North Node early, just hours prior to this new moon. So there's a lot going on in many, many levels. And so I feel like it's important for us to focus on what's necessary for us to focus on, right? If you have specific things coming up for you that are feeling energetically aligned, right? Like for me personally, I'm keeping an eye on the financial situations that are going on, but those financial situations did occur when we had Neptune and Pisces squaring Mars in Gemini, which is illusions. And so I'm not saying that it's not really happening. I'm saying that I don't know that we're hearing all of the truth. And secondly, I use a credit union, so I'm at less risk because my banking system is not within that system. I do think that it's important to watch big banks, to pay attention to what your bank is up to, but not stress about it to the point of yanking your money out. I think that's a little drastic at this point. There is going to be a shift in our finances just because of where the energies are. We have Uranus, we have the North Node, Venus, and Uranus and Taurus. Venus is home in Taurus. It rules money. It rules finances. So that's going to be a thing. And then we have Pluto going to move very, in the next few days into Aquarius. That's going to be rebellion. That's going to be changes in society and communities and all kinds of things. So I think it's important to keep an eye on everything as much as you can, but not stress yourself out because there are other things to focus our energies on, like what we're actually doing. This is Aries. This is I am. This is how we're presenting ourselves to the world. And so it's kind of like pay attention to everything, but also like focus your attention. What's the saying? And I always butcher it. Energy flows where attention goes. So if you're panicking and freaking out about the situations at the higher levels, then you're not focused on yourself and what you could be doing to ensure your own sort of forward momentum. So this is really some energy to take advantage of, to allow the forward momentum, especially with Mercury here. Mercury is the mind. It rules Gemini, which is where Mars is at. And we have Mars finally out of shadow from its retrograde. And so we have so much forward momentum to actually do things and get things done and make progress on the goals and things we want to move forward. Now, I will say this is one of 2 new moons we will have in Aries this year. This one on March 21st, and then we will have a solar eclipse at 29 Aries on April 19th. So we have a lot of big Aries initiative. Aries is a cardinal energy sign. It's initiation. It is a launching point. It's beginnings, but it's also the ram. So it's kind of like here to tear shit up. It's also ruled by Mars, which Mars is the brain. It's actually our like brain, not like our mental state, such in the case of Mercury, which is more mental and mind. But Mars is more the brain, more the masculine of that energy. Aries is also a fire sign, so it's a lot of like kind of get it going, light a fire under your ass, launch the rockets, kind of energy. And it's opening up kind of this, I don't want to say portal. I don't really like using that word because it's used a lot. But it's opening us up to like opportunities and ways we can kind of catapult ourselves individually forward. So that's the chart. Let's take a look. The new moon peaks on March 21st at 12:23 p.m. Central Daylight Time. We did have that spring forward a while ago. And so it's got a kind of midday. And like I said, that Venus will conjunct the North Node just hours before um, this new moon. I don't remember exactly what time that conjunction, but either way, it's occurring. So initiation, fiery, and setting intentions, really opening yourself up to what you can create right now and then take action. This is kind of a new moon to really immediately take action on things to do. Oh, my screen looked weird for a second. Sorry. Take action immediately. Journal your intentions. Of course, journaling in any moon stage is important, or just when you feel kind of the urge to do so. Um, and then smudge sage and Palo Santo. So sage will cleanse energy, whether negative or positive. Sage cleanses the entire energetic field, where where the smoke goes. And then Palo Santo is a kind of an initiator. It stimulates creativity. And you probably saw by the cover photo that I was actually burning Palo Santo in the photo. I love the smell of Palo Santo. It's got a nice, sweet, woody type smell to it. Um, and then let's see, take action. Like I said, take action. Like I said, Mercury is there, present. So it is really a good time to take action on the intentions, like immediately. Do something, even if it's a small step, do something to take action towards that. Citrus oils, either diffuse them or wear them. And citrus stimulates, again, it stimulates motivation, it stimulates our creativity, it can cheer us up. It can make us feel cleansed or clean, especially things like lemon or lemongrass. But there's also things like mixing. I think I have one that's like grapefruit and white pepper, and boy, that thing really, it's spicy. But it's really good. But even if you have something in like a roller jar that you can just roll on your forearms or on your feet to really motivate you, to get you to do something towards your intentions. The other thing I want to say is that because of where the planets are, and because we have a solar eclipse at the end of this lunation cycle, is that we may not necessarily see the results of our actions like immediately. It's just a moment where we really want to tell the universe what the hell we want. And so that's kind of the new moon. The other thing I want to talk about and where I want to go with this series is, so we have the new moon and then we have a full moon, right? You're probably familiar with both of those, but in between those cycles, like every 7 days from a new moon, the moon squares the sun. So in this case, because Aries is a cardinal sign, it'll square when it hits zero, when it hits the degree of this where the sun's at in another cardinal sign. So in this case, it'll be a degree in when the moon hits a degree in Cancer. When the moon hits a degree in Libra, that'll be a full moon. Then the third quarter square will be in Capricorn. And so as the sun makes its approximate 30 days through a sign, the moon interacts with it on its journey around, right? And so in this case, the new moon is at 0 Aries, and then we will have a first quarter square in Cancer, and it's going to be at 8 degrees, and that's going to be on the 28th, I think. Okay, this is where I don't know how well this kind of turned out. I wasn't thrilled with this image and how I got it to shape in here but I think you can see, so the sun is at 8 degrees of Aries, and you can see this line that I highlighted. It's squaring the moon here in Cancer at 8 degrees of Cancer. And it also, Mars will be in Cancer by then, so it changes the energy. And the moon will have just conjunct Mars for the first time while it's in Cancer. And by this point also, we will have Pluto in Aquarius. So the energy is certainly going to change, but I feel like with this Cancer, which is a water sign, it's a cardinal water sign, squaring off with the sun in Aries, which is that cardinal fire sign, we could have, and Mars's presence in Cancer, and Mars does not like being in Cancer. It is not its favorite sign. But we could have some emotions. There could be a lot of very intense emotions. So I would check your chart, see where 8 degrees Cancer is. If you've got a planet current on your natal chart or even on your progress chart. I know my progress moon is currently in Cancer. And so I'm like a year and a few months into the 3 years of my moon in Cancer, my progress moon in Cancer. And man, has it been. um but so I feel like there's going to be a lot of amped up emotions, very intense emotions. So watch the communication. We still will have Mercury in Aries. He'll be past Chiron, past Jupiter, and heading towards Taurus, but still in Aries. So I feel like because of this, like, we're going to see things amp up significantly in the next week or two. Because, and also remember, we have second new moon in Aries, a solar eclipse in Aries, and those are big, huge energy. And this one's a really potent one from what I'm reading and what I'm hearing from other astrologers. And so that's going to be the first quarter square. So on, did I go the wrong way? Yes, I did. Whoops. Okay. So on this day, it's going to be on March 28th at 9:30 p.m. Central Daylight Time. um you're going to want to check in on your intentions, right? Because when we get emotional, we tend to lose track of what we're up to and what we're doing, and we lose focus on those things that we said we wanted to go after because we get emotional and we get reactive in all of the things. And I feel like that's totally going to happen. And so it's really important to, process your emotions as they show up, be with them, feel them, and then choose to get back into, you can really get off centered, off kilter very easily. I feel like this last month, this month of March, and leading into the next couple of months, everything that you know and have learned about spiritual work and stabilizing yourself and centering yourself is going to be put to the ultimate test. I'm not going to lie, because this is just intense energy. It's a lot of change very, very quickly. And so, like I said, moon at 8 degrees of Cancer, sun at 8 degrees of Aries. We have cardinal water versus cardinal fire. And so it's check in on your intentions that you set from March 21st. But like I said, ensure that your emotions are stable. Ensure that you are processing them in kind of, I would say, an orderly fashion. Is there an orderly way to process? But throw the tantrums, have the tantrums, but have the wherewithal to get yourself right back on track towards those intentions. This is really a take action time, and it's going to be very easy to get dissolved or diluted into all of the crap that's going on in the world around us. Okay, hang on. Stop sharing. There we go. Okay. So it's going to be really important to have your, ability to check your emotions quickly, and to stabilize them quickly. I'm never going to be the one to tell you not to process emotions. However, I will tell you that the faster you can process them and recover from them, the more you're going to be able to create in this Aries space. There's a lot happening this Aries season, a lot of planets moving. And so the lunation cycle is only one piece of it. And there are obviously other aspects that will occur with different planets as the moon makes its way around the zodiac. But I really wanted to focus on these new moon, quarter squares, and the full moon, just so that we can all kind of help ourselves understand what's coming up, why it's coming up. So I would say a few things to note. I plan on posting on my blog very soon. I'm still working on it, but I wanted to get this video out too. And I'm only one person. So, but it will be coming out. I'm still working on it, I promise. But one of the things I will say about understanding the moon, understand where your moon is in your natal chart. For example, I have a Scorpio moon. The moon does not like being in Scorpio. To boot, I have an Aquarius sun, and the sun doesn't like being in Aquarius. So, yep, thanks, my parents. Um, but we all have a difficult something in our chart, right? But Scorpio moons are very challenging because we are extra emotional, extra empathic, extra psychic. We get tons of nudges and downloads, and we can get very overstimulated and overwhelmed by other people. And this happens in a lot of watery people, and especially if you have like a water dominant chart, natal chart. And so know where your natal moon is. Know where your progress moon is, because that'll help you understand when something's transient, like I said about that Cancer moon and my progress moon being in Cancer. And so I feel like there's probably going to be some emotional something come up for me during that first quarter square moon. And so know where these are. Also know how to manage your emotions, have and understand that your emotions can be dealt with, can be processed, and you can refocus your attention back onto your goals at hand. So I hope this was helpful. Again, I'll be doing some posts in my community section as well as some shorts and reels as this moves through. I will do another lunation video for the Libra full moon and the third quarter square in Capricorn that will be happening leading up to that solar eclipse on April 19th. So I will do another video, a separate video, to talk about the rest of the astrology for this week of March 20th through the 25th. There's a lot of change that's happening very rapidly. So if you struggle with moving with the flow and going with the flow, I highly recommend getting yourself some support with a spiritual guide, a spiritual mentor, a life coach, a good life coach who's got some good solid training under their belt, and whatnot. You can always reach out to me. I do not have an appointment calendar. However, I am happy to look at your chart and support you if you'd like to, tip me or whatever, so that I can be compensated for the time that I spend or that I invest on your natal chart. All right. Thank you so much for tuning in. Sarah Divinely You here. Of course, you could follow me on Instagram and on TikTok for as long as we have TikTok. Who knows? That could be going away. That occurs this week too, is there's some legislation about TikTok. So who knows? Who knows? Honestly, it's just, and things are going to change. That's just inevitable. It's a matter of being willing to go with it and move with it. So thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you next time.